The American dream has just got a whole lot harder. Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of The American Dream, where we aim to take New York City all the way to the top in Football Manager 2020. I hope you're well. Let's jump straight into it. The first thing you'll see on your screen is that in the last game we played offline against LAFC, Gary Mackay-Steven got an injury, our star player. I mean, you've only got to look at the games he's played this season already. He's played 5. 2 of them, he was the player of the match. He got an assist and 6 goals across 5 matches. That is unbelievable. He's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a groin strain. And for once, that might not be the worst part of it. And we'll get to that in a second. But of course as well, Maxi Moralez is also injured in that last game. Gashed upper leg. So he's out for 6 days to 2 weeks. Probably isn't going to be able to play in our next CONCACAF game, which is massive, obviously. Do we want to place him on the injury list? I mean, 4 to 7 weeks. He could be back within the next 6 games. So I'm going to say no. Anyway, as I said, Gary Mackay-Steven being injured is awful, of course. He's our star player. He's our go-to. He's our match winner in our big games. However, we normally have Jesus Medina to step in, or someone of that stature, whether you move Matriza out to the right and play Medina on the left. Either way, this is now our squad. Yeah. If you watch this series a lot, you'll know there's quite a few names missing there to who we normally have. They're gone, and we can't do anything about it. So, let me try and explain what's happened. Of course, in the MLS, we went through all this stuff at the start, but we'll go through it again now. When you build your squad, you have to keep within the wage cap. For some reason, we're over it again. But we were 12k, I think. I think we had £75,000 per week on our wages. And of course, we're only allowed 63,000. Now, no matter how much I brought down the contracts of our top players, or how much I tried to sell off some people we probably don't need anyway, the number would not get below 63,000. I mean, I managed to get it there. I've registered them. The team we had was exactly the same as last season, just with Xavier Arriga added on top. He's gone now. I mean, the poor kid. I mean, we got him in from the waiver list at the start of the series. We had to let him go because we couldn't afford him. He then stayed a free agent for the whole year. We've got him back again, and I've now had to let him go again. So, I mean, we've ruined that lad's career. We got it down to £63,000 per week in the end, but that was through letting some really big players go. Jesus Medina, Tajori Shradi. There's loads. I can't even remember all of them, but I think there was like 6 or 7 players we had to get rid of to get the numbers down. And I don't know why now, but it's gone back up, and I haven't changed it, and the squad is playing in the MLS, but we're now way over the wage budget. So I don't know whether before I got here there was some sort of percentage increases on the contracts, something like that, but it has baffled me. And of course, we struggled with squad depth in the first place. We always had those 11 to 14-ish players we always said about. We've now basically got our first 11, and that is it. I managed to keep all of our first 11 there, so if we go to the tactics screen, you'll be able to see our first 11 is still here, still intact. You then look at the bench now, and it is very, very different. Biga's here. I mean, Goodmandor, we can never say his last name. He's been playing left wing, and he's probably going to have to continue to do that. Now, Gary Mackay-Steven is out. Edgar Castillo's here. James Sands. Nemetcha. I mean, thank God we brought him in. We've got someone decent who can play in behind the striker if needs be. He scored against LAFC in the last game. But you get to the end of the subs, and we have then 4 players. That's it. We don't have anyone. Not ideal when you're going for that continental glory in the CONCACAF Champions League, but I mean, we're going to have to deal with it, and we're going to have to see what happens. Looking at the schedule then of what's happened so far, since I was last with you, we played the second leg, beat them 2-0 at home. We then started our MLS campaign with the dodgy squad registration rules, but we've beaten everything we've faced so far. Dallas 4-1, DC United 3-0, and LAFC 4-2. As I said, in that game, Nemetcha getting on the score sheet for his first goal for the club. So at least he's hit form. I mean, we need him to, because now he's got a big, big game to play in the next round of the CONCACAF Champions League. Marathon away first. Now, this means that this Marathon side, I haven't actually looked at them at all. They're from Honduras, and they've just beaten Seattle Sounders in this competition. So they're no mugs. I don't know whether it's the case that Seattle Sounders shouldn't have been beaten by them, or that they are a really good team, but I kind of feel a bit worried about this one and whether our CONCACAF journey could be over sooner than we ideally want it to be. Their key player is Mario Martinez, a 30-year-old attacking midfielder who looks like he's going to play in behind the striker, although he can play anywhere really in those attacking areas. I mean, if he's their key player, you'd think we've probably got too much for them, but with our injuries, you never really know. Don't worry though, because with all the injuries, we do still have Kevin Barrow. He made it into the squad because he's costing us literally nothing. So, as we said in the last episode, if we can get him the ball in the 6-yard box and just tell him to stay there, he will probably put it in the corner. But he's got to get onto the pitch to do that. And while Heber's still here, thank God he is still here, I did go through the contemplation of actually letting him go. Because, of course, he's quite high up on the wages. But then it would have meant letting him go to get down to that wage cap and then not have the ability to bring in another good DP, if that makes sense. So he would have got us just under it. In the end, I thought it was better to keep hold of him. And he's scoring goals for us, to be fair. If you look at this, so far, he's played 3 games, scored 4 goals. So we're looking to him, really, instead of Gary Mackay-Steven. Now that Gary Mackay-Steven isn't in the team to kind of dig us out of these holes and score some goals. He's still wanted, though. And still, we've still told him we'll sell him. So I suppose if a big offer comes in, we'll have to let him go. But right now, I think the only way we're going to be able to strengthen this squad is to look at American players on loan for very, very, very low amounts of money. It's going to be an interesting season. To be honest, I doubt we'll see any MLS games within the episodes. I want to keep it fun. I want to keep it flowing and interesting to watch. And I think the MLS is kind of completed now. We won it, didn't we? We did it quite easily. The squad rules have made it incredibly difficult for us to be successful in it again. So my aim is just to keep us in a job in between episodes. And we will go until we get knocked out of the CONCACAF Champions League. So to be fair, there could be this episode and the next episode. And that could be it. That could be the end of the American dream. It's been such a fun ride, but we're close to the end. So let's move on to the CONCACAF Champions League game we've got in today's episode, away to Marathon. The starting 11 is looking slightly different to how you're used to seeing it, so let's run through it. We have Johnson in goal, Tinnerholm, Callens, Shano and Castillo at left back, as opposed to Matarrita actually, who's just a little bit low on fitness, so we're going to start with Castillo. I have faith in him, I think he can do a job. The midfield 2 are Ring and Toure, as expected, to be fair. Ring, again, a little low on fitness, but I'd rather start with him over Tommy Doyle, the young lad. Makes us a little bit more solid. Then if we can get ahead, maybe we can then look at bringing Ring off for Doyle, something like that later into the game. The 3 behind Heber are Matrica, Nemecha and Gudmundur. I mean, this is very different, isn't it? Matrica normally seen out on this left-hand side, but because we haven't got a backup right winger, he's playing there. Gudmundur comes in on the left due to that injury to Gary Mackay-Steven. Nemecha in because of Maxi Morales' injury, and then Heber up top. Despite all the changes, it's still a strong side, and we should have enough to beat Marathon. Here we go then. First highlight, 10 minutes into the game. It looks, it's a bit fast, isn't it? Slow it down. Slow it down, lads. I've been playing 2D, so I'll speed up when I play 2D. But let's see what we do this time around then. Yaya Toure plays it forward. A big pass forward to Castillo on this left-hand side. Puts the ball in. Heber's there. Headers over the bar. Of course, as we said, we can't be taking this game for granted. They've knocked out strong MLS competition in Seattle Sounders. So they're a decent side. Let's hope that we can see them off. Well, there's another highlight here. Callens heads it away into Ring. Nemecha has it in the centre of the field. And be good to see how he performs in a full game. His first start for the club. Tinnerholm plays it forward to Matrica now. Matrica running at the defence as he always does. He got into the box and he's been fouled. That's a penalty. Get in there. Who's taking the penalty then? Looks like Yaya Toure is it? It is. Can Yaya put us 1-0 up in this CONCACAF Champions League tie? Of course he can. Get in there, Yaya. The highlights are coming thick and fast here. Uh-oh. Deskewer is in the back post. Oh my days. I mean, it wasn't the back post at all. He was in behind is what I tried to say. But we've somehow kept it out the net, so that's a good thing. So it looks like it's going to be 1-0 at half-time thanks to that penalty. I've demanded more anyway for the last couple of minutes. And that is half-time then. So it is 1-0, as we said, from the penalty from Yaya Toure. It's been a very tight game, to be fair. Of course, as you can see, we're bossing the possession stats. But in terms of chances created, it's fairly even. Don't get complacent out there, seems the wise thing to say. They've all reacted well to it. So let's see if we can push on in the second half and get a couple more goals, make it look that little bit comfortable. Nothing's happened as of yet in this second half, approaching 70 minutes. We're getting very tired, to be fair, especially compared to them. They're outdoing us on fitness, but we haven't really got many changes we can make, have we? So let's have a look on the bench quick, see who we can bring on. Okay, so these are the subs we're going to make. We're going to change the midfield too. Bit risky, I think, to be fair, but we've only got 15 minutes left, and the boys are shattered, so I think it makes sense. Zelalem and Doyle are going to come on in the centre. So 2 young lads, 2 have barely played. I don't think Doyle's played at all for us yet for New York City. But Zelalem's only played a couple of games towards the end of last season. These 2 are going to come on and hopefully consolidate our position. I'll take a 1-0 back to the Yankee Stadium, to be fair. Let's just hope we can see it out. There's still not been a single highlight yet in this half. So we're going to the 87th minute now. I mean, as I said, I'll take a 1-0. Is it going to be a 1-0? Is there not going to be any highlights from now? I mean, look at our fitness. I mean, we are shattered. That is not good at all. But it looks like we're going to win the game. We have won the game 1-0 away at Marathon. I mean, we just did our job. We didn't create many chances, neither did they, to be fair. Not a single highlight in that second half. We took advantage of the penalty, and that was enough in the end. So a 1-0 win. The second leg, then, is all to play for. So that is the end of today's episode. I really hope you have enjoyed. It's going to be such a struggle to get some CONCACAF glory here, but we're going to try. I hope you're excited for the journey. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like down below. Please subscribe. We're aiming for 500 subs by the end of FM20. I think we're closing in on 250 now, which is pretty crazy, to be fair. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon.